Hey guys, it's your boy Jason Ricci back with a patrons only Patreon video. I've been really excited about making this video. Today we're going to talk about the Pentaharp, right? And what it's good for and what it's not good for, which I'm not going to really discuss a lot of what it's not good for on YouTube for obvious reasons. Like the Honer is, helping me and I'm helping them and we're trying to push this thing. And it is good for stuff, but we're going to focus on the positive on YouTube. But here on Patreon and patrons only, we're going to get the real scoop on what this thing is about, right? And why the pentatonic scale is so important to play on any harmonica. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about really quickly. We're going to talk about the record, the hurricane, the state of New Orleans, and what's happening with everything. Okay, so let's just jump right in. First of all, let me say thank you to you guys. So I had a lot of gigs canceled this fall, some big ones, Jazz Fest and French Quarter Fest. We were supposed to be opening up for the Stones, and the reason I bring that up is not to complain or anything, it was to say that the opposite, that Patreon and YouTube and teaching lessons has been pulling me through this period, and by this period, I mean the last year and a half, right, since COVID hit. So I really don't know what I would do without the support of Patreon and the small amount of income that Google AdSense brings. You guys, this group of people that are watching this video right now and people that are Patreon patrons are the ones that are making it possible for Kate and I to even exist and eat and pay the bills. And I just don't know what I do. I really don't know what I do. So the amount of gratitude that I have for you guys it's really impossible for me to put into words. And I just want to say thank you so much for being part of Patreon and for supporting these YouTube videos. Not just for me and not just for you, but for everybody else that, isn't on Patreon and is enjoying the videos too, right? That's your altruism. Because honestly, I'm just speaking straight up and real, if it wasn't for the help that you guys are giving me, it wouldn't be a priority. With as busy as my schedule is, it wouldn't be a priority to put out a new video every single Friday. I would put them out when I felt like it, but because of that, because of you, because of the people here, right? That's why videos happen every single Friday. So without you, I get lazy. Not lazy, I get busy doing other things so that we can put food on the table. But I get to do this, I get to do YouTube because of you guys. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's been going on. So if you haven't noticed on YouTube, there's been a lot of videos going up from the album Chops Are Rolling. So it's interesting because reading the responses is fascinating because the record label Eller Soul that put that record out did not promote that record for whatever reason. So most of you, and by most of you I mean the world, I don't mean you Patreon patrons, but most of the world has never heard that record. So I'm putting these songs up on YouTube and they're hearing them for the first time. Sure, they were on Spotify, sure they were on Apple Music, but they weren't promoted. And now that they're going up on my channel that has, also a lot more subscribers than the Eller Soul channel did, or just the YouTube versions of the video that would get 100 hits, couple hundred hits. Now thousands of people are going to get to hear that music. So again, man, YouTube, what a powerful force. And reliving some of that music, putting it up. It's great, right? So let me tell you a little bit, just, and this is highly secretive, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna edit that out right there. I just edited something out because I don't want to get in trouble, but let me tell you this. I found a way to get them up there, okay, where it's not causing a problem. There we go. So anyway, yeah, so that's really, really cool. I'm really enjoying reading people's responses to that record, right, for the first time, in some cases, in a lot of cases, for the first time. It's pretty cool. So going to California is really taking off. Anyway, or is taking off. So anyway, about the new record, right? So there's a bunch of stuff. I'm getting ready to put up a homemade video. It's not real fancy, but it's a little fancier than my videos that I made for the Chops Are Rollin' thing of one of the new songs off of the record, Down and Dirty, off of City Country City, the record for Gulf Coast Records with Joe Crown. So the Ricci Crown Trio. That's going up soon. I'm working with a record company right now to lift the copyright restriction. So this is the first record company I've ever worked for that communicated with me in terms of my YouTube channel. So allowing me to put content up that would normally be flagged by the distributor, regardless of whether I wrote it or not. Like, I mean, some of you might know this, some of you might not, but artists can't post their own music unless the record company cooperates with them, or will be flagged and demonetized for putting up our own music. So usually that's a very frustrating thing for musicians. But I have a record company right now that's working with me to try to do that. It's been tough. I've had the video made for like 4 or 5 days. It's been done. And I'm still working to get the restriction lifted. But we're actually working in that direction, and I'm confident that we will get it resolved. So look for a video, hopefully, maybe today, right? But hopefully this week or soon, right? To give you a taste, the song Down and Dirty is one of my favorite songs off the record. It's a Joe Crown song that he originally recorded with Gatemouth, with Clarence Gatemouth Brown. So it was pretty intimidating recording it with Joe, knowing that he had already done it with Gate, because Gate's guitar playing on the record was so great. And I was, I'm the other soloist besides Joe, so it's like, I got to compete with that, right? But very cool. So, yeah, so that's exciting. New Orleans, let me talk about, so what's happening now. So, yeah, I'm home, I'm teaching, and I'm making videos. And there are some gigs around here. We're still kind of, adjusting back. We, meaning the city of New Orleans, is still kind of adjusting back from the hurricane. And the COVID scare factor is still a big thing. We have mandatory vax cards, right? Like a lot of places do at clubs. So, the bottom line is, for a variety of reasons, right, gigs are not being attended as well as they normally are. There are some exceptions at certain clubs that are a little looser. But in general, the city is pretty uptight right now. So that's kind of tough right now, especially coming off of 3 months on the road. I was gone for, as you guys know, from the Q&As. I was gone for 3 months playing gigs with 9 different bands. I toured with at least three, and played with 9 different acts on the road, in a gig scenario. And then coming home and just kind of having a bunch of gigs pulled off of my schedule has been a new adjustment. So it's been hard for me, to make the shift from doing this to doing that. Hold on, I'll call this guy later. It's been a challenge. All right, so, but I'm doing good and I'm lucky. And like I said earlier, I'm grateful. Without you guys, it just wouldn't even be possible, like, to be here. Kate's doing great. The cat's doing great. It is good to be home after those 3 months, and there is a lot of silver lining to working at home and stuff. It's just, man, I love getting out there and playing, and it's hard to be cooped up again. but it also has its advantages that I need to look on the bright side and not on the bad side, right? If I want to enjoy all this beauty that God has put around me, and that beauty is music and you guys and the recovering community, Kate and the cat, and fun movies and TV shows and music and cigars on the porch, right? My life is great, but if I get in my head, I'll make it terrible. All right, let's get down to business, okay? Let's talk about this Pentaharp thing. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna do a video on YouTube, right? Like I told you earlier, and I'm gonna unbox this Pentaharp here. Okay, but I have one here in low F that they gave me to make the video that a lot of you guys saw for Honer, okay? So we'll get into, this one's in C minor, right? So we'll get into this. It's gonna be the same video, right? I'm just using this one because it's already opened and people like that unboxing thing. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, all right, y'all. Here's the deal, okay? I've been watching all these people getting the Pentaharp, so it's a harmonica that's tuned to easily play the minor pentatonic scale. So the first note's a blow, the second note is of the minor pentatonic scale. The first note's a blow, the second note's a draw, the third note is the next blow note, the fourth note is the next draw note, right? So that's how it works. Okay, so I'm watching these videos of like Ronnie Shellis and all these other people, and they're having a wonderful time playing the Pentaharp, and that's great. It's great. But I've been screaming from the rooftops for 20 years. Hey, listen, learn your minor pentatonic scale, and this is what happens. So I'm watching all these people playing all this music and discovering not the Pentaharp. That's not what they're discovering. They're discovering the power of the minor pentatonic scale and the versatility of it. And it's so daunting to me. See, this is why this is on Patreon and not on YouTube. It's so daunting to me. Why didn't you just learn the minor pentatonic scale on a regular harmonica? All right, so let's talk about that for a second, okay? So, tuned harmonicas, okay? They're good tools. In general, a minor tuned harmonica, not this one, a minor tuned harmonica is it's tuned to have a chord, a minor chord, and usually all it is just the third of the 3 draw has been filed down a half step to achieve the same thing as a 3 draw bend. So what that is it's just they tuned it down so that it sounds bent, or it has the same note as if it was bent, and then you can play the chord, except minor, right? Because you can't bend just that one note and play the other notes, right? So that's the only advantage of a minor tuned harmonica. Now, here are the disadvantages. Okay, guys, I don't care if it's a Will Wild harmonica or the Pentaharp or a country tuned or a harmonic minor, any tuned harmonica in the world, okay? Every time you tune it, what you do is you make it really good for one thing and really easy for one thing. And then now you've made it harder for it to do anything else. So the regular harmonica is still way superior for playing vast amounts of music. By the regular harmonica, I mean what we call the standard Richter tuning. Right? Those chords, right? So I can play any single scale in the world on this harmonica, but I just have to learn what that scale is. So here's a F minor pentatonic scale. Now here it is on a B flat harp in second position. That's with the blue note, the flat 5. Okay, so you can hear that all of the notes that I play on this are perfectly available on this. Here's the thing. What if I want to go out of that scale? Like, what if I wanted to put like a 2 in to get a Dorian minor? I have to bend on this. The same as I have to bend on this. And here I got more. Right? So like, okay, now here's the other thing. I can suddenly start playing in a major key on this. I can be in minor and then switch. Right? Major, minor, major, minor. So this harmonica, I'm sorry, Honer, and you're welcome, Patreon. This harmonica, the regular tuned diatonic, if you know a little tiny bit about music, like what's a flat third, that's it, is superior. Okay, so what is the Pentaharp good for? Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about on YouTube. So when you see that video, guys, what you're going to be seeing is why I do think this is a valuable tool, okay? But I don't think it's a valuable tool for playing the minor pentatonic scale even though that's what it does. It plays the blues scale, it plays the minor pentatonic scale, right? But what it's valuable for is the layout, okay? And that layout is only valuable because it will teach you easier how to think about the scale so that you can move what you learn on this in an afternoon into what you're doing on a regular harp, guys. Okay, so let me explain a little further. So I'm going to go up 3 notes, and then I'm going to go down to the second note, right? Because here's the first one. Here's the second note. So I'm going to go up 3 notes starting off the first one. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to go down to the second one and go up 3, 2, 3, 4. 1. This is something I've been teaching, right? So, but for years I've been teaching it on this. So you can do these scale exercises on this really easy in a way that makes sense. Blow, draw, move up a whole, blow. Draw, blow, draw. Go down to blow, right? You'll see if you get one and you work it, I would recommend you only need one of these. You only need one. You don't need one in every key. Get one in whatever key you want, right? Whatever key you play in most, right, guys? Get it for that. And just use it to like experiment with these scale patterns. Right? And learn to take what you're doing easily on this because see, here's the advantage of the Pentaharp. The way that the scale lays out is very logical. Blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, right? That makes perfect sense to anybody that picks up this thing, and within a couple of, and I mean anybody, like a little kid, after they learn how to get a single note, is gonna figure out and start doing like and messing around with that kind of stuff, okay? Right? I still think this one sounds better. Even without going outside of the scale, but I can add sixes and everything. On this, I can't do that on this without bending or overblowing. So every time you solve a problem, you create another one. That's what happens when you tune a harmonica. All you're doing is changing it to do one thing different. Maybe better, right? But limited. Even when you make it better, you make it limited. Because very few musics, right, songs or whatever, stay in one scale the whole time, right? Or maybe they do, or maybe you can, right, and it'll sound great, but as you get older and you get into music more, you'll start varying what you do according to like emotions. And that means that sometimes you might want to play a major scale, and sometimes you might want to play a Dorian, and sometimes you might want to play a minor pentatonic, or an Aeolian, or a harmonic minor. You can't be switching 8 different harps in one song to feed all of those different emotions, right? So the layout is what's important about this harmonica, not the fact that it plays a minor scale. I'm watching all these guys on these videos going, oh, look at me, I'm playing the Pentaharp, and it's amazing. It's like, man, like guitar players and saxophone players and piano players and me have been playing this scale over music I've been putting it out there for 20 years on YouTube going, hey, listen, learn this scale, right? It's so good for this, right? So you do it right on this harp, and then take these movements, these 2-1, 3-2, right? And move that. Move that to the regular harp. Or backwards. You can just move. Right? You can just move anything that you learn on this easily to this. And then once you can do that, you'll get the layout better. It just makes more sense on the Pentaharp. because this thing was never designed to do any of that. But it was never designed to play what Little Walter played, or Sonny Boy, or DeFord Bailey, or Jazz Gilliam either. It was designed to play German folk music. So even the blues is an alteration of what this thing was designed to do, and yet it does it really well, meaning it plays blues really well. It plays jazz okay, all right? Unless you're Howard or Philippe Gers or Constantine, right? But anyway, this thing is a great tool for learning ideas that are easy to do on this, and then taking them and changing that and going, how do I do that cool thing that I did on this? How do I move it to this? So let's take a listen. So I'm gonna play over an F minor jam track, and I'll play with the Pentaharp, okay? And then I'll play on a regular diatonic in second. And then, you know what? I'll do one in third too. So the song's in F minor. That means I'd have to use an E harp in third, right? Or no, an E flat. An E flat. Let's see, do I have one? Yeah, here's one. Okay, right. So let's jam over this. All right. This is a little quiz track. So I'll play with the Pentaharp. Right, okay. So you can hear a lot of cool stuff. A lot of good first position major scale licks you can now do easily in this. Because they're not major scale licks, they're just stuff that we associate with stuff that we normally learn in one scale first. Let's move. Now that's just in the scale, right? So now let me... So now I'm doing stuff that the Pentaharp can't do. It can't do easily or well. I'm going into different scales. So I have a lot more freedom on a regular diatonic than I do on that. Let's go to third. E flat's kind of a high key for third, but okay, so I was in and out of Dorian, harmonic minor, minor pentatonic. Anyway, even on this song right here, it's asking for notes that are not in the minor pentatonic scale, that are part of the Dorian. mode. So it's really important to learn your scales. that's the only thing that the Pentaharp is here to tell you. Now, it's a wonderful way to learn your scale, but it's a tool, guys. It's not a solution, okay? It's not a solution, because I promise you that when you learn that scale, if you learn it on this, that there's gonna come a time when you're gonna wanna go out of that scale, or you're gonna look for that extra note that the guitar player plays or the piano player plays, and you're gonna wanna have it, and you're not gonna know where it is because you have to bend or overblow to get it. So just learn to bend or overblow on this so you can play major or minor. So you can play harmonic minor. That's just all in cross, right? And then you can switch positions easier. Now, I recognize that some of you guys out there, you know, you don't want to learn like every scale, and you don't have time to learn every scale and stuff. And in that case, man, get you a Pentaharp and just have fun playing in the minor pentatonic scale. I get it. But if you really want to get into this stuff, and you really want to have like a sense of freedom on an instrument, and like really feel like one of the guys in the band, right? You learn a couple scales, right? Start with the major scale in first position, and then move to the minor pentatonic in second, or in third, and then move around and find out everything that this thing can do. It's just, all you got to do on this thing is bend 3 draw, and you have everything that this thing can do. That's it. Just bend 3 draw half step. That is exactly the same solution to every minor key problem, right? Whether it's a harmonic tuned harmonica, you know, I don't know. Some of them, I guess, you might have to overblow this, overblow that, bend this, bend that. But anyway, it can all be done basically by bending the 3 draw half step bend. All right, Patreon, that was a load of fun. All right, and you will see that the YouTube video is a lot less pointed. You guys will be laughing your asses off. Don't write anything in the comment section, or if you do, make it a little cryptic, right? But like, yeah, the YouTube video will be like, oh, the Pentaharp is amazing for this and for that, and yes, you can move it to this harp, but yeah, look, I'm not being fake. I'm just telling only part of the story, okay? The real story you guys get on Patreon because you support me, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time.